Our next speaker is a gentleman, Sukhvir Singh. He's going to talk about the Sikh way of life inspired by the Sikh Granth Maryada. Sukhvir is a senior in high school, Monte Vista, and he too has been a regular participant at Sri Hemkund Foundation Symposiums, which has really created strong speakers in the community. And the San Jose Sikh Gurdwara has been hosting those events and encouraging public speaking, which is quite a fear in the vast majority of people, to overcome that and create speakers like Sukhvir and the two young ladies before him. So this year, Sukhvir was placed first in the senior-most group, which is quite an honor, Sukhvir. And he also helps teach Punjabi and Gurbani to young children, which is beautiful. So Sukhvir is going to tell us about Granth Maryada.
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह रहत प्यारी मुझको सिख प्यारा ना है. The Sikh Granth Maryada is a code of conduct for our social, religious and general living that follows the teachings of our gurus. After Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji left for heavenly abode, many contradictory practices, often drawn from the religious traditions of Hinduism and Islam, had forced their way into the Sikh way of life. Furthermore, as Sikhs were not custodians of many gurdwaras, they could not ensure correct practices were followed. The Khalsa Panth was led astray, and there was a need to have a code of conduct to protect the unique grandeur of our religion. Starting in 1927, the Shromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee took on the task to produce the Sikh Granth Maryada. Rehat bina ne Sikh kahave, rehat bina dar jota khave. The committee involved Gur Sikhs and Sikh scholars from across the world. Those who debated over the initial draft sought to bring consistency to our practices, so we could be more united, advance ourselves collectively, and resist external disruptive influences. The Sikh Granth Maryada was instituted on October 12, 1936, and is the only version to have been authorized by the Sri Akal Takht Sahib. It remains as relevant now as it was when it was first published. Its implementation has successfully achieved a high level of uniformity in our social and religious practices. It provides guidelines against which all Sikh individuals and communities around the world can measure themselves. It addresses key issues such as the definition of a Sikh, personal and communal obligations, rules for Gurdwara services, and conduct at Sikh ceremonies. We can turn to the Sikh Granth Maryada as a guide on how to apply the universal spiritual messages of our Gurus. The purpose of this life is to become one with Vaheguru by living the life of a Gurmukh and not that of a Manmukh. To do this, our Gurus emphasize that we should lead a disciplined life. The Amrit ceremony is one of the most important ceremonies, as it is where we make the commitment to lead a pure and pious life. The Panchakara articles of faith that collectively define our external appearance and express our commitment to the pursuit of the aims and ideals of our Gurus. By wearing them, we set aside all other religious beliefs and practices. They are essential for fostering the Khalsa brotherhood and serve as a constant reminder to us of our core values. We need to make every effort at learning Gurmukhi in order to read the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in its original written form, as this is central to our identity. We cannot get the full meaning or essence from a translation. Just as the greatness of Vaheguru cannot be described, the greatness of Gurbani cannot be translated. Amrit Vachan Satgur Ki Bani, Jo Bole So Mukh Amrit Pave. We should wake up early to become one with Vaheguru by reciting Nityanam Banis and doing Simran. Gur Satgur Ka Jo Sikh Akhaya So Pal Ke Ut Har Naam Vyave. This brings the Gurus into my daily life and helps provide spiritual guidance and inspire me to better my life, thus becoming a better Gur Sikh. The company we keep has major effects on our mind, attitude, and outlook towards others. This is why it is necessary for us to visit the Gurdwara, for worship and joining with the satsang. Guru Dware Hoy Soji Paisi. By keeping company of the satsang, my negativity and sins are dispelled, and I become more aligned with Vaheguru. Vich Sangat Har Pravadta Bujho Shabad Vichar. It is only by doing Nityanam and visiting the Gurdwara that I can mold my life according to the teachings of our Gurus. Our life has both individual and corporate or Panthic aspects. Each one of us is expected to take part in the life of the community as a matter of our sacred duty to build a better Panth. The Guru Panth is the total body of Sikhs who live according to the teachings of our Gurus. Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave its final shape, passing temporal leadership of the Sikhs to the Guru Panth and spiritual leadership to the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Khalsa mero roop hai khas, khalse mein ho karo nivas. The Amrit ceremony opens the path to become part of the Guru Panth. A Sikh that breaches any of the 4 major transgressions, haircutting, adultery, using alcohol or tobacco, and eating of gorta meat, are called Padit and are required to take Amrit again. If a Sikh has a lapse in observing discipline against lesser transgressions, they need to appear before the Panch Pyare for undergoing Dankar. When an issue arises that impacts our entire community, a unanimous decision is sought from the Panch Pyare at one of the 5 takats in the presence of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. As this decision is deemed to have been endorsed by the Guru himself, it is called Gurmata and is binding to all Sikhs. Haruname ke hovo joy, Gurmukh peso safa vichai. If there is a need to appeal against a decision made by the local congregation, it can be made to the city of Akal Takht Sahib. As with the Gurmata, the decision is binding to all concerned. Our Gurus taught us that everyone is equal, regardless of religion. The object of religion is to unite mankind, not to divide it. Manas ki jaat sabe ek pehchanabo. Sadh Sangat Ji, it is our duty to respect, understand, and cooperate with other faith communities. We should focus on the essential, shared elements of other faiths, rather than the superficial differences that separate them. Sarab taram mein shreshth taram, har ko naam jap nirmal kar. The positive virtues and moral values of different faiths foster unity and cohesion of mankind. It is only through love, compassion, and truthfulness that we can reach the deepest fathoms of the heart and enlighten others. However, we also need to respectfully disagree with any practice of prejudice or discrimination based on caste, race, gender, or religion. Jano jo na pucho jati aage japna hai. I view the worship of idols and deities by others as simply the worship of Vaheguru's creations. As Vaheguru is above all his creations, I will only worship him. Tantmant pakhand na jana ram hriday man manya. In our ardas, we ask for Guru's blessing for the welfare of all. This comes from the Guru's teachings that the same one God resides within all of us, and we are children of that one God. Aval Allah dur upaya kudrat ke sab bande ek nur te subject upchya kon phale ko mande. One of the major principles taught by Gurus is to treat everyone as equal because we were all created by one God. Ek pita ek ske hamparak tu mera gurhai. Marriage of a Sikh man and woman should be based on the physical state and individual traits of the couple. The Sikh Reth Maryada specifies that no thought should be given to the caste or creed of the couple. However, it is wrong for any couple to go through Anand Karj if they have no intention of living according to the teachings of our Gurus. Those wishing to take part in an Anand Karj must adopt the Sikh faith. The Char Fere around the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji are a reminder of this. The goal of human life is to realize God. The spouse is a companion, a life partner to travel on that path. Two people cannot simultaneously walk on different paths and still remain together as a couple. Religious feelings of the partner cannot be ignored, otherwise married life becomes troublesome. The relationship should be so strong that the husband and wife live as one soul. Therefore, it becomes essential that the couple be followers of the same faith. Tan per ehn akhien behen ekatte hoy, ek jot doi murti tan per ke ye soy. Sadh Sangat Ji, during these difficult and troubled times, we need to embrace the glorious teachings of our Gurus by living in accordance with the Sikh Reth Maryada. Rehni rehe soi Sikh mera, o Sahib mein uska chera. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Congratulations, Sukhvir, for sharing this beautiful and difficult to follow Rahat Maryada. You've covered the code of conduct as laid out in the Rahat Maryada, as also the personal and social way to live as depicted in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. These are tough ideals. May I have your attention, please, everybody? So we're going to continue with the program, but I just wanted to add one thing about Rahat Maryada and Guru's Sikhya. These are aspirational ideals laid out by the Guru. They are not always easy to follow. We have to constantly remind ourselves of them. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we're not sitting in judgment upon others who we think are not following these ideas. It is up to us to follow them. Very often, when we think we're doing good by Guru's grace, we end up putting down people advertently, inadvertently, covertly, overtly, and that's not part of Sikhi either. Like I said, these are tough ideals, and Guru tells us that this path is katin, Jan Nanak ek khel katin hai. And so let's have tolerance and empathy, and as Sukhvir said, love and compassion, as we attempt to follow these very high ideals that the Guru says walking this path is like walking a razor's edge. It's finer than a strand of hair, sharper than a blade.